Hey everyone, it is Maria Young here, and oh my, it is so bright. Let's bring down the lighting here. It's Maria Young here, and thank you guys so much for tuning in to yet another episode of my orchid and also my plant adventure. And in today's episode, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you guys how I actually got my Epidendrum ciliare, also known as the Coilostylus ciliaris, how I actually got it to bud and will get it to finally bloom. And coming this way, we're actually going to be able to get a better look at the actual Epidendrum ciliare. And here it is, guys, right here, growing so beautifully and so healthy. And as a matter of fact, it's actually situated right next to my Cattleya cross right here. This is a hybrid of the Rene Marquise, and look how huge this thing is. This is actually about 3 feet in length right here. Such a long and lanky gal, and I'll do a feature on her when she blooms just to show you how magnificent her blooms are. But anyways, back to the subject at hand. Sorry about that, I let my orchid ADD kick in there. So this orchid was actually in bloom when I got it, so I did get to appreciate its very unique and wonderful fragrant blooms. But after that, guys, no more blooms at all. And I've had this a good 3 years now, year after year, no blooms at all. I will have to say though, I mean, it grows pseudobulbs, and if I could show you, let me go ahead and lift this up a little bit. It grows pseudobulbs absolutely everywhere. Last year it grew 8 pseudobulbs, so it's a very, very healthy orchid. It just would not bloom, not at all, guys. And I gotta tell you guys, I was very flustered, I was very annoyed, I was very perplexed, I was baffled, and I was just simply irritated with the whole thing. And it was to the point where I actually reached out to Ed and asked him for his advice on what I could do with mine to get it to bloom. And he basically told me to put it in the brightest light condition possible without burning the orchid. But I gotta tell you, I already did that. I mean, I did everything under not only the sun, but also the moon. I've did every condition known to man except freezing temperatures, guys. I mean, I put this in very bright, intense, direct sunlight. I've put it in partial sun, partial shade, dappled light, and even shadier condition, and nothing, nada worked at all. I just absolutely gave up on it. I was like, you know what? No more time, no more frustration on you. If you don't want to bloom, well, have it your way. Do whatever you want to do, and I am moving on to the next. That's what I did. And I actually situated this orchid right here within this vicinity, where it actually gets full and direct sunlight within the morning time up until the afternoon, so it does get a good amount of bright light, and during the rest of the day it'll have bright light to shadier conditions. And that's where I left it all this year. And guess what, guys? Take a look right here. So here is the start of a spike. So that's number 1. Here's number 2. Number 3 right there. Can you see it? And here's number 4 right there. And also number 5 right in there. So we have 5 bloom spikes so far. We also have more new growths towards the back, so we can still have some more. So yes, it worked, guys. It actually worked. When I just absolutely forgot about it and said, you know what, I'm not going to be frustrated with it anymore, it actually did its thing. Unbelievable. And you guys know what? I actually did the organic fertilizer this entire year. So this orchid did not mind it at all. And as a matter of fact, I don't know if it helped even more, but This is the only year that I was capable of getting it to bloom. So just amazing results, guys. Never give up hope. Of course, try different conditions. If it doesn't work, keep trying until you find one that works. And once you do, stick with it, okay, guys? Because this is where this one is going to permanently reside. I am telling you, you will continue to bloom for me. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And the orchids that I actually keep within Driftwood Alley right here, as you can see, it's somewhat of an alleyway of orchids in here. And the great thing about this location right here is depending on where the sun is at will depend on where the lighting is coming in. And this will actually get lit up part way from this end. And then at the latter part of the day, the sun will come from this end and brighten up this area as well. So there's always sun that is coming through here. And I believe is why my orchids and my plants do so well here is the fact that it doesn't have intense light throughout the day, only portions of the day, but at some point of the day, this area will get that very bright and beautiful light. And there are a lot of people that do ask me exactly how do I get some of the difficult orchids to bloom. And my best advice to you, especially with the ones that love bright light, up the light, guys, up it. Okay, no matter what the care tip says, as in this case right here, which is the Maxillaria tenafolia. A lot of you guys do have a difficult time in getting this one to bloom. And in the care tip, it actually says medium type of lighting, when in fact, in my experience, I have found that this loves bright light. Just as long as I keep it in the brightest light possible without burning the orchid, it blooms on a regular basis. And as a matter of fact, this is one that we actually had to rescue. You guys remember that? And even though we had to rescue it, guess what? It didn't even skip a beat at all. It continued to bloom because I continued to give it bright light. So in a lot of cases with your bright light loving orchids, they do appreciate the brightest light possible, and that is what I would ask you to try to do. And also another thing that you can try is try growing your orchids in different ways, because you would be absolutely amazed at how well your orchids can grow in different types of conditions, and some better than the other. You guys know I am not limited in how I grow my orchids. Take a look at this one right here. This was actually given to me by Brian of Artwork Orchids and Beekeeping, and he has it on an actual 2x4 that he created. So yes, again, many different ways to grow your orchids. Take a look at this one. This was given to me by Todd. And take a look. This is growing bazonkers right off of a seashell. And this is an Oncidium type. I think it's the Fasciatum. Did I say that right, Todd? But take a look. Wowee. And this was given to me just 2 bulbs. And you see how well it's multiplied, and also how many roots have grown. It's just incredible, right on a simple seashell. So again, try different ways of growing your orchids as well, and you may be surprised at what ways you may discover that work better for your orchids. And there you have it, folks. Those are just some simple tips of how I get my orchids to bloom. So definitely give it a try and don't be afraid to expand your horizon in the regards to how you grow your orchids. There's so many different ways to do it, and whatever works for you is the best way you can grow your orchids. And with that being said, I will see you guys later, and I'll also grow with you guys later as well. See you guys on my next adventures. Bye bye for now. Mwah.